Hi, Annie Collins here for Rosie Studios Creative Club. Today we're going to create this card. It's a New Year's card. Let's go over the products that I used to create this card. I'm using the Bayfair collection, and this is the 6x6 pad. I've gone over this pad in deep details. It's in the playlist on the Rosie Studio. We're going to use this pattern paper here from the pad. The cardstock stickers, also from the Bayfair collection. We're going to use the florals here and this one here that says celebrate, and it's foiled with gold. For my stash, I'm bringing in these number stickers. This is like from a planner. I'm just using the 20 and the 25, being that we're going into that 2025 year. So here's my card base, some layering cardstock in pink, and I chose pink because it coordinates nicely with the florals, our pattern paper, and this little piece of white cardstock that I've used a die to cut it. So we're going to work with our we're also going to be embossing. I can't speak today. Embossing with the numbers. So I have embossing ink and embossing powder and gold. So I'm pulling those numbers out, so I'm going to set them aside. We're going to build our little scene, or it's not really a scene, our little clusters, and then we'll stamp our numbers. So I'm going to use this top floral here, this cluster in the top left hand corner, and then this little cluster over here in the right hand corner. And since these are stickers, they go on pretty easily. So I'm putting them on this backing here because I'm going to stamp on here. So I will use that for the stamping platform. I moved it because I'm trying to make sure I line up this celebrate and make sure it's straight. Got to adjust it. All right, finally. Now I'm going to lay the 20 and the 25 underneath it, get a good visual, and then I'm going to move that onto this backing paper. It's left over from foam tape and stuff, because I'm going to place this in my sticky mat in my stamping platform, and I don't want it to stick because the stickers are super sticky. All right, so I'm going to use my magnets to hold this down, and then I'm going to press down the lid, but I will move the stamp platform towards me so I can make sure I line this up, because I can't see in the angle, and if I go right over it, all you'll see is my head and you won't be able to see anything. So again, I'm adjusting it. I got it where I want it. I'm going to use some Versamark ink to ink up my stamps. This is a clear sticky ink, and it's used for heat embossing or to make watermark backgrounds. I'm going to quickly dust my little background here with anti-static powder. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I will stamp the 2025 twice to make sure I have it nice, good ink coverage. And you won't be able to see anything because it's clear. But once I put the embossing powder on it, you'll see it. So I'm making sure there that I have it. Press again. One more time just to be sure. And then I'll remove it from the platform. And then I'll get a piece of scrap paper. Let me just quickly remove it. This is why I put that sticky backing on there, because the stickers are really sticky. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some embossing powder, shake off the excess. And at this point is when I realize my 20 and 25 have a slight gap to it, but it's not the end of it. You still get the idea. All right, so now I'm going to put away my embossing powder, and then I'll grab my heat tool. And then I'll heat this, and I like to heat from front and from back. That minimizes the warping of my cardstock. It just helps. It's going to warp no matter what because it just heats up. That's how it happens. But it just makes it less warpy. All right, so while that cools off, because you need to let it cool before you touch it because it'll smear and get yucky, I'm going to go ahead and adhere all the layers onto our card base. So here's my card. Make sure I put it down, but I want to make sure I put it which way I'm putting everything. All right, so I layered that. I'm layering the pattern paper. making sure it's nice and even. Now that's given my little sentiment cluster time to cool off, so I'm going to grab some foam tape and I'm going to trim that down to put on the back of my cluster. I'm just grabbing it really quick. I'm sorry I'm off screen here. I'm just cutting up tape. I'm also going to be bringing in some gold confetti for a finishing touch. So I'm just here, I am cutting my tape down. I was making sure that my embossing was dry. That's what took so long. Okay, so as you can see, those little areas where the adhesive is still showing, I'm going to just put foam tape on top of that. But that's what I was avoiding to stick to my platform before. Alright, so I'm just going to fill in those areas with little pieces of foam tape, and then I'll remove the backing and I'll stick it down on our card. And putting these larger pieces of foam tape on the back, any warping that I did have will go away. It'll just stay nice and flat then. Now this card comes together pretty quickly. I mean, the most we did was the stamping of the numbers and heat embossing. Again, that's optional. If you don't want to do any stamping, any embossing, you can just use number stamps and use metallic ink, which is available. Or you can just stamp it with regular ink and leave it with regular ink. Or maybe a red ink to coordinate with the florals. You have options. You don't have to do embossing if you don't want to, or you don't have all the items to do so. So now I'm removing all the backing, and I just will place this on our card sort of a little bit higher than centered. And once I have that down, you can call it done at this point. But I like to embellish my cards, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of these flat gold sequins, or actually they're confetti because they have no hull. And I'm going to place a cluster of 3 below the little thing here, and then 2 towards the top right. So 3 here on the left, and some on the top left. And then our card is complete. Super cute, super easy to do. Like I said, I wish I would have was able to get the 20, 25 a little closer, but that's for personal preference. But it's going to work out great. So let's go over again what I used. I used my number stamp. Let me just grab it here. Wait, let me put it right side up. There you go. And then I have from the Bayfair collection the cardstock stickers and the 6x6 paper pad. This collection comes in 12 by 12 and there's more to it. This is just what I have on hand, and I figured it's quick and easy. Thank you for being here. I hope you found some inspiration. I will have everything linked in the description box below for you, and I'll give you one more look at our card for today.